Every day, the National Human Trafficking Hotline receives an average of 150 calls per day. Every minute, 2 children are sold into the circle of human trafficking. Advocating for survivors is important to raise awareness of what the dangers of human trafficking look like and to let people know they're not alone. Our first victim is Tiffany Mester. Her abuse first started at 2 years old by a close family member. For the next 12 years, she moved back and forth between her mother and father, being constantly tortured and abused. At 14, Tiffany met an older man who manipulated her into thinking he could help her and that he loved her. She soon realized that she was being labor trafficked when she had to earn $1,000 a night before she could come home. Even after being held at gunpoint and arrested, she still believed it had been her choice all along. Tiffany finally recovered and went back to school and now works at a facility for high-risk youth. Although most victims are female, like Tiffany, there are many men who are faced with the same trauma. Tyler, our next victim, grew up in South Dakota, where he had a loving and successful family. His senior year of high school, he thought he had made a new friend until they manipulated him into thinking he owed them a lot of money. He was then drugged and sold with many other boys. His trafficker controlled him by threatening his friends and family. After 10 years of being trafficked, Kyler found the courage to tell his parents about his trauma. Kyler went back to school for counseling and currently owns and runs his own health center. From the 2 stories, you can see that most people are pulled into trafficking through false relationships, but our next victim, Rachel, has a different story. Rachel Thomas grew up in a wealthy home and was sheltered from world issues. Like many kids, she grew up wanting to be a teacher. At 20 years old, she moved to Atlanta to go to Emory University. One night while she was at a club, she met a man who claimed to be a modeling agent. Excited at the thought, she called him immediately and had a job within 2 weeks. The agent made her fill out a W-9 form, giving him access to all of her information. Rachel was offered a modeling gig in New York, but she was informed that she would have to pay for all of the expenses. In order to make the money, he sold her to multiple men. He made it clear that he would harm her family and friends if she told anyone. This went on for 10 months until he was finally arrested after the police contacted Rachel. Rachel finally finished school and became a director of an education group. We believe these stories will not only advocate human trafficking, but also help prevent and educate people on the dangers of this situation.